I'm Peter. That's Emily. No holes barred, Emily. We just came back from washing our hands, and today's information is about...
Well, it's not so much coronavirus related as coronavirus inspired. Being sequestered for, 8 to 10 days now.
Lost track.
It's been a long time.
If I could grow a beard, it would be like this big right now.
Yeah, me too. But it made me think about the nature of disaster, and what scares me is not this disaster. Like I've said, I'm trying to cultivate a equanimity towards we will or we won't get sick, and if we get sick, we will or we won't die. That's the best I can do. And this is not to link coronavirus with the environment and global warming, but we know that global warming is happening, and if we don't do something about it, it's not going to be an apocalypse film where we jump into the action. It's just going to be like a slow and boring descent where more and more people are displaced and crops fail, and so food supplies run out. And it's kind of, that sucks. We can't do anything about viruses, but we can do stuff about the damage that we're doing to the environment. I mean, allegedly. We can still do stuff. It might be too late, and then we'll just have to accept droughts and fires and crop failures. And the problem, what makes me very angry, is that this is going to come down on the poorest people. It's going to come down on third world countries, and it's going to come down on the poor people in Western nations that can't afford to just move anywhere. Just because, they're in trouble. I look at it like buying one of those Elon Musk trucks. Of
Doomsday truck.
Yeah, you can't just buy a doomsday truck and say it's fine.
Even though we've been doing it for decades now.
Yeah, well now I live in a place where I can't afford a doomsday truck, so maybe that's why I'm mad. But it is the terror of the end isn't going to be all at once a big series of explosions. I guess that's a possibility too.
Yeah. Don't rule anything out.
But it is going to be slow events like these where large populations are affected, and the rest of the world can just say, oh, well, it's their problem.
Right.
And I'm pessimistic about the human race.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah. No, it just made me think, if you're sitting somewhere far away from coronavirus, or you're we're idiots for staying in the middle of it, there's gonna come a point where you can't. Unless you're one of the very, very rich, you can't buy your way out of it. It's gonna just be happening where you are.
Just can't chopper at it anywhere. We just had last night in Chengdu, 4-hour bus ride away, a 5.5 earthquake.
Oh yeah, there was an earthquake, which I didn't feel because it happened when I was sleeping, but I did dream about earthquakes, so maybe on some level I felt it.
But yeah, who are you going to blame for that? Unless you're it's God or something that thanks for the virus and the earthquake, God.
Yeah, and another thing, the way we talk about this virus, it is as if people who get sick have done something they deserve to get sick. And it's natural, I think it's human impulse to say, why am I going to be safe even though that person wasn't? But if, you have to remember the humanity of people who got sick. It's not their fault. Unless they were out licking, I don't know why I keep saying licking telephone poles.
Tires and telephone poles?
I don't think that's actually a very effective vector. But unless they're out licking stuff.
Well, that's where it's dangerously close or way over the line of racism and, well, why is this person poor? Why is this person licking telephone poles?
Yeah.
Because they're hungry? Well, I don't know what this argument is.
We're ad hominem, we're straw manning a telephone licker now.
But who's to blame for what? How about let's just help out and shut your goddamn mouth?
Yeah, and it's really upsetting how racist the discussion has been around why this virus happened in the first place and what's happening with it. what's being handled poorly. It's a lot of judgment, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of judgment for something that's not really in anybody's control. I mean, the response is in our control, but the occurrence of it was not in our control.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just like, we're getting to a point of like, you can't have sustained fear forever. And I think
it's turning into rage.
Yeah, it's turning into rage. We're here just thinking about stuff, and it like, not cool, guys.
Not cool. Hey, Earth. Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's anything that's because of being trapped that like, oh, let's turn inwards to these dark thoughts or whatever.
Yeah,
Like this has been
there.
coming for a long time. Everyone knows about it. Everyone talks about it. The ship is sinking and the captain's drunk, kind of thing. Like,
well, what tipped me over the edge was reading a headline that was like, Greta Thunberg warns that the 1.5 degree mark may be too late or something like, and this is not her fault, but the best we can do to help save the planet is turn someone who says, hey guys, please do something, into a celebrity while still not doing anything.
right.
Like, she must be incredibly frustrated by that. I'm frustrated by it.
Right. I from what I've tried to pay attention about her, she's probably like the same kind of irritated about herself as I am hearing about her. Like,
Yeah.
stop talking and do something.
It's so Life of Brian.
Yeah.
Of like, hey guys, I have a good message. Hey, this guy has a good message. Let's wash his shoes or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever happened. It's been a while since
sandal.
I've seen that movie. Yeah. And it's just like, you can't, the cult of celebrity is like, do we feel that powerless that all we can do is venerate people who have good ideas but don't do anything to put them in place?
Mm-hmm.
Is that where we're at?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, this virus has sort of, like, I know there's a lot of things going on in America. Everyone out there is busy with football games. Is it football? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
And Super Bowl? And the commercials that go around that, and the politics of
God,
whatever
don't even get me started.
with whatever the president is doing, like, all those things are like, great. I'm hoping you're having a great time, and I'm not worried that you're not worried or that you are worried about us. We're perfectly fine. We just had some like fresh Parmesan and basil that Emily has been baking on our porch.
I didn't bake the Parmesan. We bought that.
Baking the basil on the porch.
Yeah.
That everything is fine here. There's so many more people in the street today. I noticed the sun was out. We didn't go outside.
That helped a lot, actually.
But yeah, there's so many things going on that are. What's the next thing to distract ourselves from whatever bad thing is going on?
Yeah.
Like, we're pretty darn good at that. We can find something to occupy our minds and keep us off from like whatever jerk did a horrible thing with their company or their country.
Yeah, but I mean, we got to do, because this is where it relates to our experience of the coronavirus, is that I think what we've lived through already, Peter and I specifically, I'm not talking about China, I'm not talking about even other expats in China. You and I, what we lived through is not traumatic. So far. And definitely we've lived through worse, but we have made some sacrifices that I think people in our old lives would consider like pretty drastic, including not leaving the house at all. Like, it does, but what our frame of reference for it is like Joel Hodgson on The Satellite of Love and Mystery Science Theater, of like, you are being trapped, but we're all like having a good time and watching terrible movies.
Right.
But it is like, life is gonna get more inconvenient, not less. And the only solutions that seem to be sticking are gonna be the ones that only rich people can afford to buy, those Elon Musk war trucks. And those are arguably the people who are doing this to the planet.
Yeah, they're not giving us a ride in that truck. I'm not
So
getting anywhere near
I don't know. go on, don't buy Teslas. I was gonna say burn down the factory, but I don't advocate violence. But collective action, I do advocate, and I don't know. I have no solutions. I realize this is just a rant because I've been in the house for 10 days. But we have to do something because this experience is coming for us all, and the only people who are safe from it in a like morality play way are the ones who do not deserve to be safe from this.
Yeah.
That's my piece.
Eat the rich?
Don't eat the rich, but steal crops out of their backyard. I don't know. Steal from the rich. That's fine. No violence, but theft is fine. But that's all I got. Anything more, I think, would be ranty. So, wear your mask, wash your hands.
Steal from the rich?
Steal from the rich.
But don't burn them.
Don't spread rumors.
Don't spread fires.
Don't spread fires. And noodles to you.